Hey YouTube, how's it going? It's Conrad, the collector again, coming back at you with my updated Hot Toys collection. So I have another video prior to this one, about a year and 2 months ago, that I did upload to YouTube, where I kind of briefly mentioned my collection at the time. This was March of 2022. So this is an updated version of that video. This is now May of 2023. So I've added a bunch of other stuff, and you'll see mostly all this Star Wars stuff. I'll get to that in a sec. But yeah, I just want to give you guys a brief update. All right, so here we go. Okay, so starting from the top to bottom, we have Deadpool kind of just hanging out, kind of just on top of the Marvel sign. He has no idea Cable's behind him, getting ready to blast his head off. So he's just being a clown as always, right? Just hanging up there, just hanging out. On this top shelf, top side of the D-tops, we have Falcon. This is from the Winter Soldier. So, of course, I got Cap here from the first Avengers, 2012. I mentioned K1 Deadpool. I have Home Suits, not Home Suit, I'm sorry. It's a Homecoming Spider-Man. It's the one with the yellow jacket, the deluxe edition. So I have him with no mask, fighting the drones, fighting Mysterio. So I have Mysterio here, and towards the end of the video, you're gonna see that the helmet light up. It's, as you guys know, it's tough to press buttons, especially when they're way up there. It's impossible almost. So I have this really cool trick that I purchased online. I'll talk about it briefly in a bit. But here we have the other Spider-Man. This is the Night Monkey. All right. So this is from the, what is it? From the second movie. That's the Away From Home. And then we have the homemade suit. I forgot to take that hat out. So every Christmas I always put a little Santa hat just for the heck of it. So he's on this light box that I ordered. It was from the, what is it, buyer's agent, I think, or buying agent. Some website from Hong Kong. And of course, Venom. Here we have Venom. And then I'll get to the right side of my room in a bit. So coming back this way, I've mentioned these in the other videos. Nothing has changed. I haven't even reposed them. I know a lot of you collectors are going to give me a hard time because I've left this guy for about 2 years in the same pose. So I don't even know the type of damage I'm expecting. Hopefully it's not as bad as some collectors out there say it is. But yeah, War Machine's in the same exact way he was. So is Iron Man, everyone else. Here I added Mark III, the War Machine from Mark III from Civil War. Speaking of Civil War, I have Cap disabling Iron Man towards the end of the movie from Civil War. Kind of pretty much, you know, kind of cool them off. Where Cap is definitely defending Bucky for whatever reason, going against Tony. But that's from that scene. That's his helmet being ripped off, supposedly. This one actually came from the Mark 7, but I just threw that in there. I had extra parts. But, yeah. By the way, that's, I believe, the Mark 46. That's the suit he had in that movie. All right, down here we have the original Loki. I like this guy a lot better. I ordered a newer one, and I actually sold him just because it didn't, I don't know. This one just does it more for me. It's just a lot nicer. I don't know. It just, the head, everything, just, it's better proportion in my opinion, right? Everybody has different opinions, but that's just mine. Of course, Thanos, this is not the battle version. This is the clean one. And of course, Nebula here, his daughter, making him proud. All right. And then, of course, Gamora. We have Star-Lord dancing, just like in that film with the Endgame, when they go back. And then, of course, Stan Lee in the back, hanging out. Yondu, of course, undisputed. Probably one of the best figures out there as far as the head sculpt. It's just phenomenal. But yeah, that's my Guardians of the Galaxy section. Here we have Tony Stark from Iron Man 3, right before he took out the Mandarin, or at least what he thought was the Mandarin, Mr. Actor. But yeah, this is when he broke into that mansion scene. Before I go on, let me just talk about that one gadget that I mentioned at the beginning of the video. It is a soap reactor. I ordered this thing online, right? A soap reactor. This thing, I don't know if you guys have ever heard of it. This little thing, you just flip it off and on, and it makes the lights work. I'll show you here. So you have it, you flick it, and you flick it again, right? It's off, and then on, right? So soap reactor, it's a Sensit, what is it, Neo sensor, or whatever that is. But I ordered these online through Hong Kong. And yeah, let me just leave it on for the rest of the video. That way you guys could really enjoy the lights. But yeah, we have Captain Marvel from the first movie with the solo movie, Thor, Infinity War, of course, Mark 85, Battle Damage. Here we have the concept Iron Man, the Mark 47. You see everything's nice and bright. You see that? That's the Mark 45. Here we have Midas. That one's pretty neat. In person, it's a lot nicer. I don't know. I was very hesitant about ordering this guy, but it was a must for sure. And then I have the scene from Spider-Man where he's a Doctor Strange and he's getting that box back and he just takes him out of his body. I love that scene. So kind of recreated. I wish I had like invisible fishing tape or fishing line, I should say. But I don't. I used saran wrap instead. It's kind of obvious, but hey, I didn't feel like going to Walmart and buying fishing line just to make it clear. But yeah, this is Peter Parker. This is one of those 1/6 kits that they sell with the head of, I believe, the Homecoming. I forgot where I got that. I totally forgot the head sculpt. Oh, I think it's this one. It's coming from this Spider-Man. I totally forgot, but it's an original Hot Toys head sculpt. Just the body. It's a third-party company. All right, and this is Vision from the original Infinity War Avengers, I believe. No, Age of Ultron Vision, and then Wanda from Civil War, and then Cap, the concept. Capped, and then of course Black Widow from Endgame. She's pretty cool. All right, moving on. Let's see. We have Nick Fury on this side with Bucky. We have Endgame Capped. Of course, Rocket Raccoon. We have another Iron Man section. Kind of what I did in the middle. This is like my pride and joy of my collection. I love Iron Man. So this is Pepper Potts Rescue, right? And this is the Mark 85, the clean version of it. This is the Mark 43, I believe. No, sorry, Mark 42. You know that scene at Iron Man 3 when he actually sends the suit to rescue her when she's wearing the suit? Well, that's her wearing the suit. That head sculpt, I actually got it on eBay. So it's pretty cool, something different for sure. Again, I talked more about it on my first video. But yeah, this one hasn't changed a bit. And of course, as you can see, this thing, flick it on and off. But moving on, we have Eric Killmonger from the solo Black Panther movie. We have the Wasp. This was a tight little section here. We have Mr. Flint over there. We have Ant-Man from the original Ant-Man. Of course, Black Panther. This one's actually from the Civil War. And this head sculpt, I got it from China. It was like 20 bucks, which wasn't bad at all. I don't feel like buying the solo Black Panther, especially after he passed away. The prices just skyrocketed. No, thank you. But yeah, Hawkeye, I believe I mentioned. He's from the original Avengers, I believe. I'm not quite sure. Forgot. But yeah. And then we have the Mark V when he's actually suiting up. This is not the die-cast Mark V. I have that one in the Hall of Armor. I'll show you that next. Of course, we have the Mark I War Machine from Iron Man 2, right? This, of course, is taking on Whiplash here. So I have both Whiplash 1 and Whiplash 2.0. I love that guy, super heavy duty, it's super nice. That's a must-have for me. But yeah, and then over at the riser here, we have good old Stan Lee with a director chair. So he's just hanging out, kind of pointing at my guests, whoever comes into my collection room, kind of like, hey, what's up? And of course, I mentioned how this remote was gonna turn Mysterio's helmet on and off, right? So you see that? This thing saves you tons of headaches just because you don't have to be clicking and pressing buttons and switches on these action figures and then just dropping them from their current pose. It's really simple, just flick it and it's on. I even have this guy on as well. You see that? All right, so moving on to this side. This is what I call my 80s slash DC side of the room. More into Marvel, as you could tell. But yeah, let's go ahead and mention it. I think this is a great figure. Of course, I put a double-sided tape here on the balloon, making it seem like it's floating. This guy is just dancing. You see, this was really tough, especially people always ask me, dude, aren't you afraid they're gonna fall and break or whatever? Especially, I live in California, so we got a bunch of earthquakes. But you see, the beauty about posing is, besides balancing them and whatnot, you go hike the pole. It's actually, you see that? It's holding it in place. You just can't see it. You hike the pole with the leg and you are in business. So that way you don't risk it and it looks good. Okay, so on this side, same thing from the first video. I'm not gonna get into so much detail. We have the meme Joker from 1989 Batman with, it's a Bruce Wayne. It's a 2-pack that came with the Batman Returns movie from 1992. So it came with this guy and this guy. And I'll talk about him in a bit. All right, moving on. We have the 89 Batman with the 89 Joker. These two are probably my favorite duo in my collection. To be honest, I know Jazz Inc. is coming out with the 1989 Batmobile. They just released the Batwing. Unfortunately, I don't have any space. It's always the biggest challenge for us collectors. But yeah, I am very limited to space now. So I will pass on the Batwing, regrettably. Hopefully in the future I get to buy one, but for now I pass on it. So yeah, again, this is a 1/18 scale Hot Wheels Batmobile. That's a must, just to kind of give it a little diorama in there, just to give it something to look at. And then of course this is from the trilogy, more specifically from The Dark Knight Rises. And of course I have the lights set up, same thing with this little remote. You see the armor? Watch, let me give you a better angle right there. Check this out. You see that? And that's off, and of course, and that's on. Has a mind of his own, I swear. But yeah, pretty much that's what it looks like when it's on. Of course, I have the Zorro here with this dark companion, Tornado, I believe that's his name, the horse name. But this guy, Blitzway makes him. He's my only Blitzway figure. Unfortunately, I don't have the Ghostbusters set. I would love to have it one day, but not as of now. These are very nice, very underrated. I know he's going for a bunch of money now, but at the time, he was just sitting at Sideshow. But yeah, he's a very nice figure. Very nice. All right, going down to the risers, I have Selena Kyle riding the Bat Cycle, whatever they call it. I forgot what to call the motorcycle for Batman. And then, of course, we have Lieutenant Jim Gordon here, right? Towards the end of The Dark Knight, he's actually arresting the Joker. And that's him pretty much taking a Neo to arrest him. And of course, I did this because if you try to stand him up, you can't see him, especially if you have the door closed. You just can't see him. So that's about the only way to pose him where you could actually appreciate him, especially if you're standing up. You see that? So if you're standing up, you're from back here, you could see him. But that's what happens when you're limited with space. Over at the other riser, we have Bank Robber. This is the 1.0 Bank Robber version of Heath Ledger's Joker. And of course, this is at the beginning when he reveals himself and he's taking the mask off after robbing the bank. I love that scene. Hot Wheels, Batman, and Batmobile collection items. The book, the Dark Knight book. We have more Batmobiles on this side. A bunch of stuff I get at Target, Walmart, just anywhere. Yep. All right, so back to the top. And here, again, I mentioned these on the other video and more in detail. But we have Harley Quinn and Joker from the Suicide Squad. These two just look magnificent together. Just great to pose. Just have tons of fun with these two. And of course, you cannot go bad with the classic Christopher Reeve's original Superman from the 70s. This is just priceless. If you guys don't have one, get one. This is a must-have for sure. Look at that. Just doesn't get better than that. And of course, we have the Trinity from Justice League. We have Ben Affleck as Bruce Wayne / Batman. Of course, the best Superman in the recent times. I don't know how DC's gonna pull it off to get somebody better, but let's just hope it gets good. I don't know. It's gonna be tough. And of course, we have Princess Diana here as Wonder Woman. And then down here we have 2000. Oh, my clock just fell over. Must have been struck by lightning or something. I usually have it as a diorama. I just noticed the clock went down. But this is Marty McFly from Part 2. You got Dr. Emmett Brown from Back to the Future 2. He's paranoid of time, of course, as always. But yeah, a bunch of different accessories. This is the deluxe dark brown. You get that extra suitcase of money. Oh, I'm sorry. You get the walkie-talkies. That's what you get as is in the deluxe. Everything else is standard. And of course, another 1/18 scale Hot Wheels vehicle, the time machine in this case. And yeah, I have the clock tower bulletin that good old Jenny wrote her number on the back of that flyer, where they find out that actually lightning hits it at 10:04 p.m., right? And I literally have the clock at 10:04 if you could see it, but it fell, so it makes it tough to see. But yeah. All right, so this is Vane carrying Batman, but this is a demon Batman. He's gonna break his back. I love that scene from the movie Dark Knight Rises. That's him posing. I know they're making a 2.0 version of it. This one I like. Would have been nicer, a little bigger, a little buffer, but I just do it just fine. And then of course we have the Scarecrow here, right? Just posing there, looking good. But this is from Christopher Nolan's trilogy. Speaking of which, everybody's favorite scene. Of course, this is the DX12 with the DX11. No in-art Joker for me. I don't know. I just don't have any faith in those guys. I've heard mixed reviews about them. I'll play it safe and I'll save $1,000. I'll keep my original DX11. I love this one. Yes, it's a little outdated. Yes, it could be better, but for me, I've had it for so long that I love it. Just love it, honestly. All right, moving on. We have 1966 Batman and Robin, right? And these two guys are just a classic. I mean, it's a must-have. It's a must-have. Especially with the release of the third party, I believe Mars is a company who makes Cesar Romero's Joker. This is very, very nice figure. These guys are very underrated. Very underrated. The accessories, the detail, the tailoring, I mean, everything on this figure, I was amazed. I paid about $1.75 shipped to me. And honestly, I wasn't expecting much. I was just thinking, okay, whatever. If it works, if it's nice, great. If it doesn't, who cares? I'll use them as a diorama for these two guys, especially since I did order the 1966 Batmobile from Jazz Inc. But I was just shocked to see this guy, how good he really is. He comes with 3 head sculpts. I mean, all 3 of them. It was hard to pick a pose. So many accessories. Just, it is a great figure, guys. Definitely jump on that for sure. All right, moving on. I have a little Kobe tribute. Being from California, specifically LA, we are big Kobe fans out here. We will eternally be grateful to this man. And I have this shrine for him with his trophies and championships. And I have this Interbay locker with the jacket. And I have, of course, Kobe holding the basketball with the jacket. People are like, why do you have him facing backwards? Obviously to show the Black Mamba. And the best part is this. Alexa, turn Kobe on. Check that out. It's kind of noisy, but I'm on a rotating platform here. Check that out. Isn't that cool? It didn't make noise before. I don't know what happened. It just started making noise. But it's all good. And then, of course, Alexa, turn Kobe off. And that's it. Pretty cool, right? All right. So to make that work, I use plugs that they sell on Amazon. And of course, you set it on or off. You name it whatever you want. And that's how I get to make that happen. That's how I make that work. You can see the cable here going that way. But yeah, get creative, guys. And then, of course, my lights are HUE from Phillips. These lights change in every single color you could think of. I have certain settings. I have pressed certain buttons. I change certain colors. They are great. They work on timers. They're very expensive, but honestly, since you are displaying expensive figures, might as well, right? Go all out. But oh, I missed 2 guys. I have the Predator. This is a classic Predator. I'm missing the gun. It ripped off. Unfortunately, I'm trying to find a replacement part. It's tough. But I love the detail on this guy. It's just amazing. And then, of course, RoboCop Ed 209 and RoboCop die-cast. Well, this guy's plastic, but this guy's not. That's die-cast. Really, really nice figure. But yeah, I was mentioning about the HUE lights. Here, I'll give you a quick sample of what I'm talking about. You could do voice command, or you could just simply press buttons. I have this thing. If you press the second %, check this out. The whole setting changes instantly. And you can program it however you want. I have lights everywhere. So you could have them yellowish. You could have a white setting. I mean, you name it, it does it. It's Phillips HUE. Check them out. They're not the cheapest, but they are great. They work. They're long lasting. I mean, you could do so many different settings with them. All right, so moving on, we have our quarter scale size figures. This is Iron Man from Iron Man 1, the original one. This is a Mark III. Of course, we have the Mark 43 from Age of Ultron. You see that the head sculpt is just phenomenal. Oh, same thing. Here, let me show you. All right, so I'm back with this. Of course, I have it plugged in as well. You could turn it off and on. Same thing with this guy. Just gives it a more realistic look. Check that out. Pretty cool, right? Look at the boots. Pretty cool. Mark 45. And that's how that works. You see that gadget up there? That's how the magic works. You have a bunch of cables going to the batteries, and you plug them in, hide them as best as possible, and then you make it work. But yeah, quarter scale Ironmans. I have all 4 of them so far. I know they're gonna release a Mark IV soon, and there's talks about releasing a Mark II. So let's hope it happens. So this is a Mark 42. He's charging his suit with the battery pack, just like in the movie from Iron Man 3. Check out the boots. I love this. This thing plugs in as well. Let's check that out. You gotta go high tech, guys. Come on, 2023. Hot Toys should have done this out of the box. Unfortunately, they didn't. I don't know why, but they didn't. So we have to improvise. I know there's another company out there called Fusion. I know they do a good job as well. These guys, Soap Reactor, they're not the best customer service. They're not the cheapest. They take forever, and it's a pain in the butt, to be honest. You have to get very creative on how you order these. But yeah, I mean, overall, I give them a solid B. It has its issues, but it's pretty good. All right, so this is Spider-Man quarter scale. Again, this is the deluxe version. You get that really, really nice stand. And again, I have it plugged in with this as well. Check that out. Let me see. You see the vulture. And of course, you flick it on and off. And like I mentioned, it works. Sometimes it doesn't. But that's how it works. Unfortunately, because of space, I had to put them there. Can't really take advantage of them. But it works. Darth Vader, quarter scale again. Helmet's a little off. Let me fix them up. There it is. Okay. And same thing. You have this Soap Reactor lighting up the chest piece, lighting up his lightsaber. I'll shut the blinds in a bit. I'll turn off the lights and I'll really give you guys a better feel. And this is the first night out. Batman Begins. He has his mask in hand. He's ready for fighting crime. And then, of course, my favorite quarter scale Batman from the Night Rises, Dark Knight Rises. He's just great. Bunch of good accessories. I'm going to pass on the new one since I already have this guy. And then, of course, the Joker. A lot of people don't like this figure. I personally think it's pretty good. It's not the greatest, but it's pretty good. Solid B for sure. Heath Ledger's Joker is just priceless. And these lights, I ended up buying them at Home Depot. They're great for corners just like this because they're nice and small. And they change colors as well. Okay, as promised, I was going to mention the 1992 Batman Returns. It is from a 2-pack. I mentioned that earlier. This one's great. If you guys don't have this guy, you got to go out and get it before they go up even more in value. But back then, Hot Toys used to have stands just like this one with actual working LED lights. I miss that. Now they go cheap on us. They don't work. They don't have any light bulbs. They don't even have a flicker anymore, a little switch. And of course, they have the Hot Toys 1989 Batmobile. This is nice. I know there's going to be a new one from Jazz Inc. that's coming out hopefully next year. But this, for me, ought to do. I mean, this is good enough. Everything inside lights up. Everything in the rear lights up. Everything in the front lights up. You want to see it? Check it out. Alexa, turn Batmobiles on. Okay. That's my shredder. I have plugged into my Alexa as well. But Batmobile lights up with the voice command. And the reason why I mentioned Batmobiles with an S, yes, you got it. I actually have multiple. This is a camouflage tumbler, camo tumbler is known as, from The Dark Knight Rises. Of course, it makes its appearance in the first one before he paints it in all black, as he asks Shiz Fox. But this is a tumbler, camo. These things are hard to get. If you guys find one locally, buy it. These things are gonna only go up in value. Pretty rare. I mentioned earlier the 1966 Batmobile, right? This one, I don't have it hooked up to Alexa because Jazz Inc. was nice enough to actually, I did get the deluxe edition, so it comes with the remote. It has its own separate remote. That one's pretty cool. Here, I'm gonna show you in a sec. Okay, so the remote I was talking about is this little guy. And of course, you have a whole bunch of different buttons. You have 4 in total, but they make 5 different functionalities. And then you have interior lights. You see, there's a full reviews, a bunch of reviews on this guy. So I don't want to go in too much in detail about this guy, but you have another button that turns on the headlights, the hidden lights, and then of course you have another button for more lights, and then the brakes in the rear light up. You even have the flamethrower light up. So that's a nice piece. I couldn't pass on it. Definitely not. This is one I would have regretted for sure. But yeah, this guy is really nice. All right, so moving on, we have the original DeLorean from Back to the Future Part 1. Of course, we have the reissue Marty with Einstein hanging out. And of course, good old dog Brown behind him, checking out the time, panicking as always. But this is from Back to the Future 1. Of course, that's the deluxe version. You pay like 20 bucks extra to get a cardboard, but it's all good. I mean, it looks good. You see that? It's not the best quality, but it looks good. Of course, the original DeLorean is just a beauty. Whoever missed out on that, I'm sorry for you. I do have the replica, not the replica, Back to the Future 2 DeLorean coming. It's paid for, but they're having issues because of quality control. So there's been a delay on that, but it's on the way. And of course, this thing lights up. Yep, flux capacitor, you name it, you got it. It's there, everything works. And again, it's voice command with the same command to turn these on. Of course, original tumbler, right? All black. We have the DX19 sticking out of it. And this thing is pretty nice too. The way it lights up is just phenomenal. It's really, really bright. When it gets dark in here, trust me, this thing is bright. And of course, Alexa, turn Batmobiles off. Okay. See, everything shuts off. All right, cool. So we have T800 from Terminator. Probably one of my favorite figures right here, quarter scale. The detail is just phenomenal. This is the exclusive one. It's the one with the 2 machine guns. Very hard to get. Again, if you guys see this guy pop up on eBay or anywhere else, jump on him. Because again, the value is just going to increase from here. Of course, the Mandalorian deluxe version as well with the child. I literally have him kind of as a child with Santa Claus right on his lap, just talking to him. And of course, he's playing with the little boff thing, and he's just looking at him like, all right. But of course, always on guard with his weapon in hand. The deluxe base. This thing is super nice. It lights up as well. But yeah, that's different pose. I have all sorts of different fun with this guy. You could pose him in all sorts of ways. So it's pretty cool. All right, so after showing you guys pretty much a recap of this section, all of that section, and all of this, I'm now taking you guys to my Star Wars section. So light box again from Hot Toys. This is Heavy Mandalorian. We have the armor, we have Boba Fett on the throne. This one, I'm telling you guys, the biggest challenge to this collection of mine, it's always space. I'm literally maximizing every inch of this little room at my home. So this is about the only place I could fit Boba Fett in the throne. It's right above the light box. Kind of tight, but hey, he fits. All right, much better angle. There it is, there he is. All right, so this is, let me open this up really quick. Of course, the 40th anniversary, Boba Fett. And of course, we have the OG Mando. I love this pose. This guy is pretty good. Again, a lot of people miss out on this guy. Don't sleep on him. If you find him at a deal, get him. And of course, we have Baby Yoda, aka Grogu, just hanging out. And then more Mando here. Baby Yoda, got Moff Gideon in the back, looking at Baby Yoda as the ultimate price with the sword. And again, you guys remember my good old buddy? Look at it, check it out. That lights up as well. And then down below, we have Darth Maul. And good old Qui-Gon Jinn on the floor after he stabbed him to death. After he stabbed him. I love this pose. I just love the scene. I mean, it's just phenomenal. That's a nice one. Of course, a bunch of troopers. We have a bunch of troopers here. Short trooper, regular trooper, and then wait, what's this? Oh, he's hiding amongst some guys. You got Luke Skywalker back there. He's hiding. He's tough to find, but He's in there. There he is. There he is. Luke Skywalker. Just hanging out with the bad guys. And of course, a very infamous scene. Darth Vader fighting his son, Luke Skywalker. With the Emperor in the back. Watching the fight happen. And of course, my friend, the soap reactor, making sure that throne lights up. You see that? And of course, all of the lightsabers. Guys, that's not easy to do. Lightsabers, everything lights up as well. That is pretty tough. Takes a lot of time. Of course, the chair lights up. All the buttons light up. Everything lights up from lightsabers to this lightsaber as well. It takes a lot of work. And of course, another one of my favorite scenes. One of my favorite figures. Again, another duo that's a must-have. I have the dark side Anakin. Again, a lot of people slept on, but this is a must-have as well. It's just nice. Fighting his old master. And then the background again, this guy making the magic come to life. Right? So that's pretty cool. All right, so moving on, we have another Marvel area. Actually, sorry, before I go to Marvel, I forgot to mention, we have more troopers here kidnapping Baby Yoda, Grogu, from the first season of The Mandalorian. Of course, we have the droid here to help. It's out to the rescue. And he's knocking one out to get the bike. You gotta get creative with space, guys. Again, that's my biggest challenge. I have a lamp, so I have his hand holding onto lamp, holding onto him, and he's just holding on to dear life. He's hanging. People are like, you get crazy, but it's a very sturdy piece. So just make sure he hangs tight and he won't fall. Just don't kick your lamps, okay? But yeah, moving on to another Marvel section. We have Ultron 1.0 from Age of Ultron. Thor Endgame. It's posing. Of course, we have Endgame Tony Stark before he goes and travels back to time. And of course, this thing lights up his helmet. Again, this thing, I love it and hate it at the same time, but it's pretty good. Check out the handpiece from Hulk. You see that? Of course, there's this little iPad. I bought this thing on Amazon. It's touch. It doesn't work that great. I mean, it works, but not all the time. There it is. See, you gotta press it and it turns on. It has different settings again. See, that's the second setting. And then the third setting is off. Yep. And of course, this is one of those great deluxe pieces that people slept on. I love this scene from Endgame. It's Ronin. He's kicking ass in Japan. Remember that pose? I love it. And of course, we have Stark Industry Lightbox with the good old Thanos here. Battle damage. He is about to taste defeat at the end of Endgame when Tony snaps his fingers, sending everybody to dust. All of the bad guys to dust. Broken weapon, broken heart. He's just tired. He's done. Look at that piece. Battle damage, that's a must-have as well, guys. I was very hesitant about getting him just because I had the clean version, but that's a must-have. I swear that's a must-have. All right, so here we have a very noisy Mark 1, very anticipated. That little sound you hear in the background, again, that's a little motor in the back. And again, everything's powered by this, right? Super noisy. The Hall of Armor, same thing, it works with voice command. I'll show you guys in a bit. I'll get to that in a second. But yeah, Mark 1 diecast, finally. Mark 2 diecast, finally. I was struggling to get this, guys. I know they're making a Mark 3, but I couldn't wait any longer. I had to complete my set. And yeah, it's a diecast, a shorter one. You see how short he is in comparison to the 4. That's why they're remaking it. It's just very small. But yep, Mark 4. That one's probably my favorite suit, I want to say. The Mark 5. And then the Mark 6. This one's another favorite. And then Mark 7. All diecast. And of course, if you guys have the Hall of Armor, You could remove these plates. I just kind of like to have it just, it looks more realistic. But same thing, if you guys have this Hall of Armor set, it's a pain in the butt with the batteries. I have this kit I bought from Amazon. Jetta Patrol actually promotes it, where you plug in a bunch of batteries into this device and then you plug it into voice command. Same thing with the outlets that are controlled by Alexa. Here we have Tony Stark testing the suit from the Mark 43, I believe. And that's at the beginning of Iron Man 3 when he's testing it out. And he has his hand telling it to come to me. And then it just flies and then it hits him. But I love this pose. I love this suit. I love the whole Hall of Armor experience. Is a must. You see that? I'm a big Iron Man fanatic. So this is a must-have. The dummy and everything. His little bench. I mean, this is a must-have. Again, I wish I had more space, but I'm very limited to space. But yeah, as I mentioned before, Alexa, turn Hall of Armor off. Okay. You see? So it shuts it off. And again, you could turn it back on. I have a program where I click my office lights on and it comes on automatically. Or you could turn it on individually. Alexa, turn Hall of Armor on. Alexa, turn Hall of Armor on. Okay. Yep, so that's that. And again, more Marvel down here. This is from Ragnarok, another great Marvel masterpiece. This is Gladiator Hulk. And Hela, she's hella badass. And you got Thor. It's Stan Lee in the back. But yeah. This is one of my favorite movies. Great movie. All right, so on this side we have Terminator. So this is from Interbay. Oh, yep, that's a problem with Interbay. They're not as steady as Hot Toys are, but they are great. These are quarter scales as well. You got the Battle Damage T800. And then you have the T1000 back there. That guy's sick. And then, of course, this guy looks drunk. He even lost his sunglasses. He has that shotgun in there. That's probably why he tipped over. It's too heavy. But stainless steel shotgun is in there with the flowers. But the detail is phenomenal. Look at this weapon. And it's all die-cast, too. Look at the casings. The only problem is with the leather. Of course, it's flaking off already. But it's all good. Quarter scale. These things, if you come across them, get them. These are only going to get more and more rare with time. So take advantage and take them into your collection ASAP. All right, so we're almost done with the collection here. Up north, we have helmets. This is from the Black Series, Mandalorian helmet from the Mandalorian show. Boba Fett, again, Black Series from Hasbro, I believe. And then, of course, we have another 1/6 scale Hot Toys. This is the 2.0 version of them. This one's pretty cool. I got a great deal on Sideshow. I couldn't pass them up. I'm not a big fan of the newer Star Wars movies, but hey, what the heck. This guy lights up pretty nicely too. It looks really nice when it's on. But yeah, that's it for this side of the room. And then this other side's Interbay, all Interbay. This is NBA stuff. Again, I mentioned I'm a big Kobe fanatic. This is another favorite duo in my collection, especially this pose. Check it out. You got Kobe, I believe in his second or third year in the league. 1998, I believe this happened, where the Lakers played against the Bulls at the Forum in Inglewood. That was a great moment. It's a passing of the torch. I'm a big Jordan fanatic as well. The Bulls had their run, and then there was a Lake show that took over after. So that was pretty cool. I thought that was really, really cool. So I love this pose. Again, people think I'm crazy. That's magnetized. Here, look at him. He's literally falling over. So the way I have him posed, I have Kobe tilting back and I have Jordan tilting forward. You put them together, it's a perfect balance. I don't know if you guys noticed, but I don't use pose to stand them. It's all balancing. It's a balance act. So you gotta get really good at it to pull it off. And of course, Kobe, as an MVP for the All-Star game. And that's another tribute to him, Mr. Kobe Bryant. And then of course, rookie Michael Jordan, just posing. Just look at the jersey, just that looks great. Of course, if you guys are into shoes, these are the AJ1s, the Breads. And then we have good old James Brown. Nah, not James Brown, we got LeBron James. And he is now a Laker, but again, if you ask any real Laker fan, we're not too crazy about him. Yeah, he brought us a championship in 2020, but I don't know, man. I like LeBron. He's cool and all, but no, he's not a Laker. I'm sorry. Shaq O'Neal, I know he was with Magic and with the Celtics and Cavaliers and whatnot, but this is another Laker fan, a Laker player that we all love here in LA. This guy is huge. I couldn't stand him up. Again, restricted with space. I bought a little bitty I think it's a McFadden, or I forgot the name of the brand who makes this little court, but it's like a 1/12 scale. It's really small. But I just wanted to emphasize that he's just dunking on it, you know? That's his signature move. And of course, Jordan. I'm a big Jordan fanatic. I mentioned that before. These are his shoes in the 1/6 scale. It comes with the 2-pack. If you know something about Interbay, you get the rookie Jordan. And then of course you get this Jordan and 1-pack. It's a 2-pack bundle with a bunch of shoes. All the shoes 1 through 14. There they are. So I bought this little shelf on eBay as well. Surprisingly, they sell everything miniature on eBay. And yeah, that's my NBA little collection. Not much, but again, I'm very limited to space. And of course, we have the Nano Gauntlet from Endgame. If you're wondering if these turn on, the answer is yes. And you guessed it. It works with our buddy soap reactor. You could plug in all kinds of stuff to it. Again, not cheap, not the greatest customer service. If you put up with that and the long shipping time, you'll be fine. And again, this lamp here is from HUE. Again, it does change in every single color, voice command and all that good stuff. It's great to have. And then of course I have the Hulk version of it. And again, as I mentioned, everything works with this little device. This thing is massive, guys. Just to kind of put it in comparison, I have a big hand and check that out. That's huge. Another helmet, Iron Man Mark III. This thing is really nice. Actually, you wore that for Halloween. It's wearable, just like the Mandalorian and Boba Fett. It lights up. But yeah, speaking of lighting up, I forgot to mention this one actually lights up as well. I have them plugged in. You see that? Pretty cool, right? And if you're wondering how, I have a cable running to batteries and then have all sorts of cables behind this door. And I have all sorts of cables hiding behind this shelf and more cables hiding behind this other shelf. It's a mess back there. But you can see a little bit of the headache that you have to go through just for the sake of the hobby. But I don't recommend that. It's a lot of work. Let me focus there real quick. It's nasty, but you can't see it, so it's okay. And that is my updated hot toy collection in 2023. I hope you guys enjoyed it. Any questions, make sure you guys comment. If you liked the video, if you guys got some inspiration or ideas and poses, or maybe if you were on the fence about a certain figure, hopefully this helps. Pull the trigger, or according to the wife, this helps to get in debt or just to spend money stupidly. You know, she could thank me directly by leaving a comment down below as well. But this is it. This is my updated Hot Toys collection. All right, any questions, please feel free to ask. And I'm more than happy to help with any doubts or any type of concerns. All right, have a good one. Bye-bye. Oh, one more thing I forgot to mention. I was almost done with the video when I just remembered. Hey, I gotta shut the lights off and show you folks what the soap reactor looks like when everything is completely dark and the figures actually look way better with the little power soap reactor thing. But yeah, let me show you really briefly. Give me 1 second. Let me go grab it. I left it here. So check this out. All right, so we're gonna turn them on, which we did right now. And Alexa, turn office lights off. Okay. I don't want to completely turn everything off, but check that out. You appreciate it much better when it's nice and dark, right? That looks really, really good. All right, guys, as promised, I was gonna show you a night shot at my collection. It's super dark, obviously, just have some light in the background, but I want to show you the soap reactor. When it's on at nighttime, it just looks great. Check this out. 1, 2, and 3. Pretty sweet, right? Again, this is powered with the soap reactor and the lightsabers. We have it in the chair. You see that? It's pretty cool. And then, of course, down here with Darth Maul and Qui-Gon Jinn. These guys, and so it's pretty cool. It's just one command on and off. That's a noisy Mark 1. And then, of course, all of my Iron Mans, the reactors and the eyepieces, right? This guy's pretty cool. Tony Stark. And then, of course, we have the gauntlet. You got this guy here, the base. That's really, really cool. And then this piece right here through the chest. It's awesome. And then even on the hand, that's pretty cool. And moving on to this side, of course, we have the Hulk gauntlet. And then the Nano gauntlet. And then, of course, my Infinity War section. Check that out. More Iron Man stuff. Let me open that glass really quick. Pretty cool, right? That's pretty sweet. And of course, the Mark 46. And then, yeah, but that's pretty much it on this side. And then up here, of course, we have Mysterio. That one's sweet, dude. That one's probably the best one when it's nice and bright. It looks nice. And this guy. And then, of course, this one's really, really nice as well. It's a very nice touch. That one's really, really nice. The armory. Quarter scale stuff. From the base to reactor to eyes. The helmet. Reactor. This one's kind of dimming. I don't know why. But, yeah. The base also lights up on the Spider-Man quarter scale. That's pretty neat. Of course, Vader. Darth Vader's lightsaber, the chest piece. Yeah, that's pretty much it in a nutshell. That's what it looks like from a distance. Again, that's the armory. And then, of course, all the pieces. And, of course, Alexa, turn Batmobiles on. Okay. They're really, really bright. And of course, the 66, as I mentioned prior, he's on a separate remote. That one looks really nice as well. And of course, the 66 Batman with the lights on. Everything. This one's individual, where you could turn off those lights. Also, you could turn off the headlights. Turn these on by themselves if you wish, or just the headlights if you wish. Up to you. All sorts of different settings. And the interior, it's awesome. Same thing with the 1989 Batmobile inside. It's just beautiful. In the back, everything. So much detail. But, yeah. So that's it, guys, for my collection as of 2023. All right. Cool. Have a good one, everyone.